Welcome back to Algebra 1 Honors. This is lesson 8-4. You're going to learn about the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. And hopefully you'll discover what we want you to see here. Okay, over here we have three different equations, linear equations, because we have an x and a y, and they both have an exponent of 1. Okay, and they're not multiplied together. If you have x times y, that's a different. It's not a line, but if you have x and y and they're added or subtracted, then you've got a linear equation. So here's one linear equation, blue. Here's our red linear equation, and here's our black linear equation down here. Now, you have already learned about the slope of a line, and the y-intercept is very simply the number where the line cuts across the y-axis. So if it cuts across right here, then the y-intercept is 6. If it cuts across right here, the y-intercept is -3. Okay, that's all that we mean by y-intercept. And it's thundering in the background now outside, so that's the other noise that you hear here. All right, to graph a line, all we need to find is two ordered pairs. Once we have the 2 points, then we can connect our line. So let's choose a simple value here. If we choose 3 for x, if I put a 3 right here, my 3's are going to cancel, and I'll be left with 2 plus 3, or y is 5. You know, what if I choose a 6 for x? Well, if I put a 6 here, then 3 is going to go into 6 twice. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 gives me a 7. Okay? So there are our 2 points that we're going to use to graph our blue line. 3, 5. We go over 3, start in the middle, go over 3, and go up 5. Right here. Okay? And then we have 6, 7. So I go over 6 and up 7. Right about here. And draw my line. Get my line straight there. There we go. Now my line is straight. All right, and then let's do our red line. Let's graph our red line here. Well, if we pick a 2 for x, that'll give us 2, and the 2's will cancel. I'll get a -1. -5 is a -6 for y. And if we pick a 0 for x, then we're going to get a -5 for y. So let's graph those 2 points. So we're going to go over 2 and down 6. Right here. And then over none and down 5. That's right here. And we're going to graph our line right there. Okay? Now, let's do our last one, our black line there. So if I choose a 0 for x, that means 2y minus 0, so 2y has got to equal 10. Y is going to be 5. And if I choose a 1 for x, that means something minus 4 has to be 10. So this has to be 14, or y has to be 7. There's my 2 points. Now I'm going to go over none and up 5. And then over 1 and up 7. There we go. All right, now let's go back and let's find the slope and the y-intercept for each line. Okay, let's do the y-intercepts first because they're really pretty simple. The y-intercept for my blue line is 3. See, where does my red line cut across? Down there at -5. And how about my black line? My black line cuts across at 5. Okay, now let's do our slopes. Our slope on the blue line. Well, right here, our point is 3,5. And our point up here is 6,7. So to do our slope, we have to do the rise over the run. So we went from 5 to 7, that's up 2. And we went from 3 to 6, that's over 3. So our slope is up and down, plus 2, over horizontal, plus 3, or positive 2/3. Okay, let's do the slope on our red line. Our point right here is 0, -5, and our point right here is 1, -6. Okay, so let's look at our slope. Let's draw our little right triangle there. And our change from here to here is down 1. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a 2. A 2 here, not a 2, -6, 2, -6. Okay, so our slope here is down 1. And we went over 2, from 0 to 2, so plus 2. So our change vertically is down 1, and our change horizontally is plus 2. And our slope there is -1/2. Okay, now let's look at the slope on our black line, the last one. Okay, our point right here is 1, 7, and our point right here is 0, 5. Here's our triangle. So we went from 5 up to 7, that's plus 2, and we went from 0 over to 1, that's plus 1. So our slope is plus 1 over plus 2, or positive 1/2. All right, now you should be looking at there and saying, oh, I thought there was a pattern. All right, because if you look at this equation, oh, looky, the slope is exactly the coefficient in front of the x. And the y-intercept is the last constant term there. Same thing here. The slope is the coefficient in front of the x, minus 1/2, and the y-intercept is the last constant term. Well, what happened? Oops. But if you look at this equation here, this equation doesn't have the same format, the same form, as these two equations here. Right? The blue and the red equation have one y variable. Okay? One y over here all by itself. No number in front of it, nothing else on this side with it. Just y equals something. Let's see if we can change this equation into that format and then see if our pattern still works. Okay? So what I'm going to do first, let's move this out of the way here. is, let's move the 4x to the other side. So then we're going to have y, 2y actually, equals, we add 4x to both sides, and we get that. If we add the 4x, it goes away over here, and it comes on the other side. And then we need to get 1y, so we divide absolutely everything by 2. 2, 2, 2. And what we end up getting is y equals 2x plus 5. Okay. And now I know that I made a mistake because this should be 1/2. So we will stop right here.